Hi, this is Dina for Splitcoaststampers. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to make 2 garlands for the holidays. We'll be doing ornaments and dreidels. These are made of strips of cardstock, and each strip is 1 inch wide. For the ornament, you'll need 8 strips, 2 at 6 inches, 2 at 5 inches, 2 at 4.5 inches, and 2 at 4 inches. Go ahead and cut your strips and then line them up like I have them here, with the longest strips to the outside and the short ones to the inside. And then you're going to stack them in the way that you want them inside the ornament. You can turn them so the pattern is facing outward or to the center. Just be sure that you have them the same on both sides, and then turn one stack over on the other one with the short strips to the center, and line up the ends and sides so they're all together. And once you have that done, you're going to staple the strips close to the end, staple them all together, and then we'll start on the other end. Now, one at a time, you're going to line the other end of the strips up together, and they're going to start to bulge out to create the ornament shape, so you'll want to hang on to them pretty tightly, about 1 inch or so down from the end. You especially want to make sure that you hang on to those shortest ones in the center, because those are the ones that are going to want to pop out, but those are the ones that are actually most important to the shape of your ornament. Once you get all the ends together, you can staple them close to the end, just like we did before, and that actually creates the basic shape of the ornament. It's very simple. Once you have it stapled, you may need to pull some of the strips out to kind of even out the shape a little bit. And once you have it in the shape that you want it, you can punch a hole in one end of the ornament. Both ends are the same, so it doesn't matter which end you punch, but whichever end has the hole will become the top. I used this little tag die to cut some little hangers for my ornaments. If you don't have one similar, you could use small rectangles or cut a similar shape with border dies. So here I'm just using some hot glue to attach these to the tops of my ornaments, so it looks like they have a little hanger. And that is as simple as that. Here I've made several ornaments. You can make as many as you want, and then use twine or ribbon to string them together for a garland. Or you could just use a single ornament for a gift tag, or make smaller ones by dividing all the measurements in half. For the dreidels, you're also going to use 1 inch strips. There are 2 strips at 6 inches long, 2 at 5.5 inches, 2 at 5 inches, and 2 at 4.5 inches. So these strips are going to be scored. We're going to score the 6 inch strips at 5/8, 1 3/4, 4 inches, and 5 inches. Next, score the 5.5 inch strips at 5/8, 1 1/2, 3 3/4, and 4 1/2. And then we're going to score the 5 inch strips at 5/8, 1 1/4, 3 1/2, and 4 inches. And then we're going to leave the 4.5 inch strips alone. You'll stack the strips the same way we did before, 2 stacks, longest to shortest. And then we're going to fold on all those score lines so that each piece has this kind of bracket shape. So the 1 inch section will actually be to the top, and those brackets are going to face each other. So all of the pieces will be folded except those central pieces in the same way. Once you have all the pieces scored and folded, you're going to gather them in order again from longest to shortest, and then back to the longest on the other side, and you'll be lining up the ends together as you go. Just be sure as you're putting all your pieces together that you have all the 1-inch sections together on one end and the 5/8 inch sections together at the other end. You'll also want to be sure that you have your patterns facing either in or out on both sides so that your dreidel is symmetrical color-wise. Staple them just outside the score line, and then you can put another staple at the end to hold everything together. And then you will do the same on the other end. Line up all the ends of those pieces on the 5/8 inch score lined end. And then you'll staple it just outside the score lines. And if you need a second staple in the other end, that's fine as well. When you have the ends secured, you'll want to adjust the strips a little bit. From the 1-inch end at the top, you want the pieces to go out at a 90-degree angle. So you might need to fold that top section and tweak it to get a really good crease there. You'll punch a hole at the 1-inch end. And again, you can make several to string together for a garland or just use a single piece for a gift tag. Thank you so much for watching, and happy holidays.